Hello, welcome back to the channel. A subscriber messaged me the other day, well he's just subscribed, a guy messaged me the other day and said he's in the process of doing a very similar shed, or converting a shed similar to mine, similar size to mine, to a bar. Now I always call mine a bit of a summer, it's meant to be like a log cabin, not so much a shed. It's not really a summer house. You get people to do really big posh builds. Mine's pretty basic, cheapish log cabin. Some people got really flash big garden rooms, converted garden rooms, proper big buildings, proper insulation, heating, ventilation. They're what I call a garden room. You can also get a shed and convert a shed into a small bar, which is very similar to mine. Mine's what you call, I would say, a log cabin. It was bought as a log cabin. It's not really a log cabin. It's like a semicircular type log. It's not a full log. It's not half a log. It's just a piece of a log. It makes it a little bit stronger, a little bit better than a shed. But I'd say you could still probably get something similar to this, or a shed size, the size as mine, and convert it into a nice bar. What I wanted to do is to take you inside, give you a little tour. I've done it before years ago, but it's slightly changed now this year. So I wanted to get the tape measure out and do some proper measurements. The person in question has asked for specific sizes and measurements and bits and bobs. So I thought, what better opportunity than a nice winter's afternoon, get the camera out and go down the bar and have a little look inside with the tape measure. And then this video, if you want anything I miss out on, you can ask questions below. I'll be happy to answer them. So we'll turn the camera around, walk in, we'll have a little look, get the light switched on. Right, I'll grab the tape measure out of the shed. Let's pop inside, have a little look around, do some measurements, proper measurements, have a proper measure up the bar, height, width, depth, etc. How far it is off the wall, lighting. I'll leave some links below. There'll be probably be Amazon affiliated links. So if you do use those links below and purchase for those links, it costs you nothing extra, but I might earn 10-20 pence out of it. It's like negligible, but it does help the channel, help support the channel. So we'll pop in and have a little look. Before I do, by the way, the doors on the front are doors from an old conservatory. A builder a few years back was dismantled a conservatory, hardwood conservatory, replacing it with a UPVC one, I do believe. So he put these, I think I paid for them, we put them on Facebook. I had to chop the top. If you look at the top, it's a little bit narrow here. There. I had to cut them down to fit. But, because obviously I had an old shed door there, an old stand shed door. Fun enough, I'd moved that to the shed behind us, put another door in there. So yeah, the doors we've got in here at the moment are hardwood conservatory doors, coated up and fitted. I think I put a timber across the top and put some ply at the top there. Put a timber across the top there, opened it up, just about fitting nice. So it gives a bit more light, it looks a bit more pub-like. But yeah, so that's the start. Maybe when you do get your shed, look at getting a new door for it first of all, and make the front look a bit like a pubish, and then off you go. Whiskey barrel, we can't go wrong with them. I know it's on Facebook, they've gone down in price now, the whiskey barrels at the moment. I think during times of COVID, I think everything was going up in price a little bit, but I know the whiskey barrel was like 40-50 quids now. So getting yourself a nice whiskey barrel, it's always a nice feature out the front. The trees, I've done a little video on the trees. I know they're a bit, you might think a bit naffish, but I actually love these trees. I saw them somewhere in a restaurant the other day, but B&Q or somewhere home-based, can't remember where. Plastic trees, a few lights on the front, all helps. So let's shoot inside and have a little look around, shall we? And I'll show you what we've got. Right, we're in. It's not warm in here, I've not got the heater on. Heating, I'll show you the heater in a minute. One of my other videos, I think I mentioned, I got rid of my gas one. I did have a gas one with a gas canister on it. But I'll probably do some more lives this year. But last year before, we started doing a few lives on a regular basis. A crowd of us would go on YouTube live and have a little chat. And sort of like 9, 10, 11 o'clock to the early hours of the morning. And got a bit cold a couple of winters ago, and I had a gas heater on. A couple of us fell asleep. Not properly, but nodded off a little bit. I never trust myself. The gas heater I had, it's around the back of the bar still, I think. I've not sold it yet. The gas heater I had did have some safety features built in. If it fell over or you had carbon monoxide in the air, it would chip out, but I still didn't trust it, so I got rid of that. Oh, I've still got it, sorry, but I'm not using that anymore. I'm using an electric, or whatever it's called, electric red. I'll show you that in a minute. So I'll give you the tour, and I'll take the camera off and we'll give you a little tour around and have a little look what we've got. First things first is get the lights on in here. Right, that's better. Camera's on a selfie stick now. I'm going to spin the camera and show you around what we've got. Behind me you'll see a TV, so let's just have a look at that first. So as I said, on the left here we've got two doors, old conservatory doors. window, a couple of little lanterns, these little lights. Everything I'll link to, everything I'll show you today, I'll link to. Ignore the mess at the moment. I have tidied up. Glasses left over from Christmas. I don't want to inundate the dishwasher with too many glasses at the moment because I get told off. I'm doing it gradually. And obviously I've got my karaoke gear still up. I'm ripping some CDs. So let's start from my left as we walk in, spin the camera right round in a loop. So first things first, what happens to that tape measure? TV there, I think that's a 40 odd inch TV. The splitter box there which I use, I'll put a link to that. There you go, it's a bit of a mess all these cables, but what I do, I take this TV out, I've got another TV next door in the other shed. And if you've seen my other videos, you'll know that I take the TVs into the garden, do some outdoor stuff there. Little shelf made out of scaffold board. And some old coffee table that a neighbour gave me. Right, so that's my old touchscreen jukebox, which I don't use a lot now because I'm using the Alexa thing. Oh, let's get the lights on first. So first of all, so turn on pub.
Okay.
There you go, that all lights up. The only one that doesn't light up at the moment because it's battery operated is this one. Because I bought this for Christmas. I'll just flick that on there. That's it. So you got LED lights there going across the top all the way around. The light might go out. Oh no, little socket. Don't ignore that. Don't need electricians moaning at me. So you got a couple little socket LED light there. So let's spin the camera around. So we've got some bar stools. They're standard. These bar stools, these bar chairs, are standard pub chairs. I've got off Facebook pretty cheap the other year. The bar stools were a couple of old kitchen stools. I bought 4 cheaply, sold 2. Didn't have enough space. Tape measures coming out. So my bar is an old pallet, what they call a closed board pallet. And the height of that bar is 110, including the scaffold board. It's pretty much the correct height. I think there's some articles on some Facebook groups. 2 scaffold board width. Length of my bar. Oops, I'll just hook that on there. Length of my bar, roughly 148, 58 inches or whatever. If you look there, the feature, I've done scoop 2, ignore the karaoke gear because I'm ripping some CDs at the moment. Let's move that over. It's stuck to the beer. But I've got 2 scaffold boards there. So it's 2 scaffold boards wide. One on the end there cut into a mitre on the end there like that. And a little return. So the return, if you want the measurement of that return is a couple of foot, 63 centimetres, 630mm. The reason I've done that, I wanted it to marry up with this here. I wanted that, I didn't want that to protrude out. Got a U-flow pump there, beer pump there. This is a bottle opener and my perfect draft system there. I switch and change depending on what I'm up to at the moment. At the moment I'm on the perfect draft. Okay. The signs, someone mentioned about the signs that I've got here. Get this out of the way. The signs I find, I'll talk about the signs later on. Right, let's work our way around. So, gap behind the bar. If you look beyond the bar, gap behind the bar from a scaffold. So if we just go right to the back of the bar. I'm going to block my bloody glass over it. Let's try and... To the back of the bar, to there, to the edge of my bar, is what's that? You can see the tape yourself there. And then obviously you've got that width there. I don't think I'll make that any narrower. I can just about get round here. Under there you got my the Inkberg temperature controller. There's the gas heater I was telling you about before. I was thinking about this the other day. The fridge just fits under there, so when you're going to do your shelving, make sure your fridge fits under your shelving. This bar can be moved forward or backwards. I'd be inclined to put a shelf there. See that bar there? If I did it again, I'd be inclined to put a shelf level with that bar. So what I'm talking about is here. I'd be inclined to put, if I did it again, I'd put a shelf here, I think, and round and work my way for there. So get your bar built first, and then build a shelf there, yeah. to this height, coming round. I mean, this was an afterthought, but what I would do probably if I did it again, build your bar in place, get it where you want it, get used to it, and then build a shelf there, come round with that, and then build the rest of the bar. I mean, I've added these bits on, little mitre bits there, another TV there, speakers, memorabilia and bits and bobs, my whiskies, a little whiskey collection there. Chalkboard on, I've got a video on that. Fridge there, I'm not using the fridge at the moment, none of my fridges are plugged in because it's pretty cold down at the moment, it's winter, but I've got the U-Flow keg there, beer line cleaning bucket there, some beer line cleaning equipment there, mink bird thing there, I've done a video on that already, and I've got like an extension socket plugged in under there. So depending on what mood I'm in at the time, depending on what stuff I want to use, get this old speaker out. Well, it's not an old speaker, but I'm just doing some karaoke stuff at the moment, so there you go. And I've got the lights. I'll put links to all these lights here. Get this out of the way so you can see what I've done. An old clock I found down the bus shelter a couple of years back. Fridge stuck under the corner. Again, I added that shelving on this shelf here. If you look at my other videos, I added that on a later date. Alright. Scaffold boards, single scaffold board everywhere there. Not the best joiner in the world, but sort of rusty a bit, I suppose. Coming back out here. As I said before, the bench there is 2 scaffold boards high. So 2 scaffold boards high, and work your way with that. Then I put a scaffold board on the end there, here, scaffold on top. I've got my poker, from when you make a poker table up, you got that there. 2 scaffold boards there, going onto the wall up there, and I've got USB socket there plugged in underneath, basically. Again, you got to think about fridge height, I suppose. Get your fridge under there. I'll give you measurements actually. There you go. So you can see that. What's that? 60? What's that? 90 centimetres. Memorabilia there. Again, 2 scaffold boards at the back. These cushions, I was thinking about this the other day, I was a bit lucky here, these cushions fit in. I was going to get a bench cushion made up from a couple of companies that you buy the foam and they put the cloth on it and the material on it for you. I found these cushions, if you do a search on the internet for chair cushions or Wayfair, I think it's Wayfair in the UK, they do bench cushions. It might be an idea, I was lucky, they just fit in. Well, actually they don't, tell her, look. It hangs over the edge there. Got a gap for a curtain there, because sometimes I like to put a curtain across. But what I would do, I thought about this the other day actually, because when someone asked me questions the other day, I thought to myself, what I would do in the future, maybe find out the size of these cushions. Actually, in fact, I can give you the size of these cushions. They're square. They are, call it what, 50 centimetres, 20 inches. So it might be an idea, for instance, to buy 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cushions or whatever you want, then measure them and then make your bench to fit. So that'd be a nice snug fit then. It was just lucky mine just sort of fit away, sort of fitting as overhanging there, but they were nice cushions. I think that's a way a lot of companies do this, pretty cheap. I think it's £8, £13, something like that each, these things. A lot cheaper than getting a proper thing made, and a sheet of MDF underneath. And I won't lift that up, but as I say, it just sort of sits in there. If I take this out, take that out, that just, it's slid underneath there. This slides in and out there. Couple of scaffolds at a slight angle there and a little bob cut piece put on top. Does the job. Alright. That's basically it really, I think. I'll have a measurement of the light. The light, let's get the tape measure out and have a little look. The light basically is the length of this shed. So the light runs all the way around, that LED one. I'll put a link to that on Amazon. That runs virtually all the way around. Like so. I bought some little clips. If you're looking close there, you can see these little clips specifically for the job. Can you show those little clips there? You buy them specifically. If you look at these LED lights, they show those little clips, but maybe a hot glue or a little bit of super glue to get it going. The pain in the backside sticking them up, those little tiny little clips. And maybe a glue gun, a hot glue gun or something would be better. Cables everywhere, look, but it doesn't matter. That's the effect of it, doesn't it? A lot of it's embedded beyond the wall. Someone asked me, I think, about, so the walls, let me put the camera down and have a little chat. Hang on. Right, so I gave you a little saw on the bar. I've done it one handed with a selfie stick. It's a bit awkward with a tape measure, but anything else you want to know, let me know. Somebody asked me about insulation. Insulation in here, as I say, it's a shed converted to a little pub. We don't come down here loads. It's not a summer house. It's not one of those big fancy 10, 15 grand buildings you get built, right? So if you're going to do a 10 to 15 grand building, you go proper decent roofing, EPDM or decent felt or tiles, proper insulation. What I did it on a budget. So the walls, the ceiling I did in OSB boards. I got a lot of OSB cheap age ago, and what held me back was I had to get someone to help me with it. So I got my son to help me with it eventually, screwed that up and painted it. It's okay, it does the job, it does look brilliant. And then I got a load of timber, little bits of softwood in the corner to cover up the corners, maybe a bit oldie weldy. Ceiling insulation, I just tucked in some polystyrene insulation in the ceiling. I think it does the job, it's better than nothing. The walls, if you look around the walls, I think the walls are chipboard. They're all chipboard, my walls. I worked for a company at one time, they had a load of bits and pieces turned up in some chipboard. I managed to get a load of chipboard offcuts in my car, screwed them all up. I think they're 10, 12 mil thick. So I used that, and then I ran out. So what I did, I know they're dear now, but I went down to Wickes, a company in the UK called Wickes. They do packs of 3, or I think it's packs of 3 loft boards. The reason I did loft boards is because at the time they got up in price now. My son was moaning about it the other day because we're doing a bungalow renovation. We want to build a loft out. And loft balls, everything's got up in price at the moment, unfortunately, but the loft balls were cheapish at the time, and you could get a pack of them you can fit in your car, and you could literally sit them on the wall on your joists and screw them up, and it's like they slot together, so you can sort of like do a brick effect, like laying like bricks, and then as you do that, you can tuck your insulation inside as you go. So I did the loft balls like that, and obviously the top row I had to cut down. So what I did, I put some loft balls up, tucked some insulation down. And I think I used some loft insulation, offcuts, loft insulation. If you're on a budget, have a look on Facebook. If someone's, got some polystyrene insulation left over, stuff that down the back. They got some loft insulation left over, stuff that down the back. I didn't go really mad. It helps. I can feel the cold now. I've got no heating. I can feel the cold in now. I mean, if I was friends coming around, I was going to sit and have a beer and watch TV now. They've all gone off for some reason. Gone into sleep mode, my TVs. They are all linked together, HDMI. Leads really cheap. But getting back to the insulation, if I was on a big posh summer house, I don't know, it's up to you. Go for some decent insulation. But I just did what I could with what I had on a budget. Scour Facebook, and I did it that way. And someone asked me about the thickness. The thickness was just literally the thickness of the joist. I didn't batten it out. I can't remember. Let's have a look, get some measure out. What the joists, I don't know what the joists are in this place. 100 mil, I don't know, I can't remember, but it's just the joists are what the joists are. I didn't batten it out, so whatever the joist thickness was, I put the chipboard loft boards there, whatever gap I left, I stuffed some stuff down there. That done me. I mean, it's not 100%. In actual fact, I think it helps because I've not had any condensation or damp in this place. So I think the fact that it's not insulated 100% does it a favour. Behind you, the 2 doors I spoke about earlier are conservatory doors, hardwood. I had to cut them down a bit and put some bolts on them. And they are double glazed. The 2 little windows either side are basic, cheap, single glazed windows. So they're not the best, but a little bit of air, I think, circulating helps, So I've not had any condensation or damp in here. The floor, a few years back, before COVID and before people were doing these bars left, right and centre and everything was cheap, I did this like a good few years ago now. A friend of mine was knocking a conservatory down and building an extension, and he put on Facebook, does anyone want this flooring that he'd ripped up? And I went round there and I loaded my car up. I just left it in the shed for ages. I must have had it for about 1.5 years before I utilised it here. And it just about managed to do all the floor. It's just basically a laminate flooring which I clipped together. I think I insulated the floor with some old polystyrene. If I remember right, I think I just went straight onto the I think I redid the floor here. I think it's chipboard again, this floor, and I can't remember. Or was it the shed floor? Can't remember, but all I know is I put the laminate floor on top. There's no insulation under that. Like you do in your house. I didn't bother doing that. It's alright, Dan. I like it. I've got a few more bits. I've got a couple of sockets, if you notice, around there to finish off. It was wired up. Some of it was wired up properly. I've done a few spurs myself. It's all on a proper fuse box. That was expensive, getting the proper mains cable down here, but you're better off getting that done properly from the consumer unit in the house. We renovated the property a while back and done a new kitchen, so we had the first thing we had to do was get a new consumer unit put in. And then when he did that, because I had the old-fashioned ceramic bloody fuses, so when he did that, also got a cable put down into here. And I said this a couple of times before, and I got the fuse box in the corner, the metal one, the shed one. Once you got that, you're laughing. I've only got 2 fuses on that, I do believe, for lighting and the sockets. Lighting, the measurements, I'll put links below for the lights, the LED lights, and these little lights here. These are battery operated ones. These ones are the mains ones on Alexa. 2 ceiling lights on dimmer switch. 2 ceiling lights here on a switch up by the door there as you walk in the door, but they're left on really because they're on Alexa. And I've got a double switch behind the camera there on the wall as you walk in the door. So as you walk in the door, up my top left shoulder, you got a double switch there behind you. One switch works these lights, one switch works the 2 lights on the outside of the property. Those lights, the up-down lights, are the ones you buy for your house. They're the Screwfix lights, pretty cheap. But I've got the fancy bulbs in them. I'll try and list it all in the links below. As I say, a lot of this is these Alexa bulbs here, which I just had to replace recently. They're Alexa LED bulbs in the ceiling, so I'll leave the light switched on. The lights out the front, I've got 4 LED Alexa bulbs there, which are on the app. The strip light, the LED strip light you see around me is, you get a little remote with that, I don't know when that's gone, but that's on Alexa, that's plugged into a socket, on an Alexa socket. These little ball lights on the bar here you'll see behind me, they're just plugged into the mains, but they're on an Alexa socket as well. They're pretty cheap. I don't think they're the original Alexa ones, I think they were cheaper ones. Some are Alexa proper ones, Amazon ones, and some of the cheaper made ones. Little record player there. Fridge is, like I say, unplugged at the moment because I've not got any beers in the fridge at the moment. You don't need to in this weather. I have got a keg of Perfect Draft beer, but that's in my shed next door in the cold. It's pointless with the price of gas and electric going through the roof at the moment. It's pointless plugging your sheds in this time of year when you can just put the beer in a outbuilding or outside, really. You know, in your soul shed or your garden shed, and that'll keep it cool enough. So I'll plug those fridges back in the summer. The splitter box, as I say, I'll put a link below if you want. That runs the TVs with an Amazon stick on there. The Wi-Fi, I've run a cable from indoors, from the router indoors to, I think I'm with BT, so we've got an extending box thing that you're meant to use in your house. I brought that down the bar. I've run an Ethernet lead from the inside the house, drilled a hole through the wall, ran an Ethernet lead along the fence panel to the extended router in the corner, and when I do a YouTube live, I plug my laptop in because I've got a lot better connection. But the TVs are on, I think they're on Wi-Fi. The TVs are on Wi-Fi. My first TV over there, yeah, is it? I can't remember now. Yeah, no, it's plugged in. I think the TVs, are they on Wi-Fi? I can't bloody remember. I'm not sure. Can't remember how it bloody works. I can't remember. I think they're connected to Wi-Fi. I think the Amazon Fire Stick. Yeah, the Amazon Fire Stick is connected to Wi-Fi to that, I think, and then the splitter box runs all the TVs. Yeah, because there's only one lead going into that. There's the Ethernet lead from indoors going into my extender, and there's another lead that runs out to my laptop every now and again. I plug that in, but that's about it. Yeah, so the TVs are connected. Can't remember how they're bloody connected, but that's down to you. Someone mentioned about the signs, pub signs. I've been buying the pub signs for ages. Before COVID, before everyone was building sheds down their garden, the lights, the signs were like 99p each, £1 for whatever they were. They've all gone up in price now, unfortunately. Amazon is not the best place for them anymore. I'll tell you what, I bought some recently, last summer, when I went to Yarmouth, Norfolk market. If you wander around, I mean, there aren't many markets left around in the UK anymore, but the old-fashioned markets, you wander around the old-fashioned markets, there's always some guy with a stall with a load of signs strewn on the floor. And I bought some abroad as well, but you always get like a few for a £5 or a few 4 for a £10 type thing, you know. Amazon doesn't seem to be the best place for them anymore. They used to be. And also check your sizes, because the 2 size, you get the mini ones and you get the proper size ones. You get like your A4 type size, you get your A3 ones. But I've got a bit of mix and match there. few postcards I've been collecting that stick on the wall. You know, the old-fashioned rude postcards. I quite like a few of them scattered about. Bits of memorabilia when you go abroad. If you get a chance to go on holiday in the UK or wherever you live, if you go on holiday abroad or at home, bits of memorabilia like that. There's always someone giving away beer glasses, or you can always borrow something down your local pub. And I'm always on the lookout for bits and bobs. I've got enough here. I mean, I wouldn't, if I didn't have this little pub shed, this little bar, or my little storage here, I don't know what I'd do with all this memorabilia. But yeah, a shame to get rid of it all. There's a couple of lost in the box, I think. But, and then once you get a little place like this, people always buy any bits and bobs. Christmas, I've got a few gifts from family and friends, glasses and gin sets and etc. And then finally, cheap as you like these little things. They even come with a little box of 10 or 15 or whatever I bought, 12. They come with batteries in them already, so they're worth it for the price just for the batteries already pre-installed. They're throwaway really. Battery runs out, but you can put the battery in, mind you. But I think I've answered all the questions that some couple of people asked me. So someone said if it was 2 foot smaller, so if my pub was 2 foot smaller, if it was 2, well, I call it a pub. So if it's 2 foot smaller, you'd be, well, I don't do that, so I'd be 2 foot, so 2 foot would be from there. So what's 2 foot from there? 2 foot, so you'd be there. So you get away with it, 2 foot smaller. You'd have a bench there, move the bar up a bit smaller. I don't really use the bar as a bar, to be fair. I mean, I suppose if I was going to, I can stand about there just about, but it's a bit squashy, a bit junky around there. Yeah, I can get behind and pour beer. I have done, but normally, you know what? I've got the U-Float, I've got my beer in a bag, I've got the perfect draft, but we still come down and drink cans of beer and pour it in a glass. It's quick and easy. But this summer, I will always get some, I'll always have one of these on the go, perfect draft, U-Float, or beer in a bag. It's so is the food order, and whack some beers on your food order, go down to your local supermarket and grab some beers as well. You know, whack them in the fridge. So the fridge is a must, but at the moment I say, like I say, mine aren't plugged in. I've got my beer fridge here, I bought a Facebook cheap, and I've got another normal under-counter fridge here I use for me U-Float beers or beer in a bag, my keg beer with beer in a bag with the heat and that. That's another video, I've got other videos on that. Search for the playlist, have a look at the playlist, search for my videos and have a little look. Pub chairs bought. Hunt around on Facebook. I've just asked family and friends really, and hunt around and go to the markets and the antique shops and that. You'll find some bits. Old TVs. TVs are cheap as you like now. So yeah, old pub signs there. I've started putting some signs on the scene as well now, and some glasses. I ain't got room for much else in here anymore. I hope that's helped you. I hope you've enjoyed that video. Please like, subscribe, and any questions you want, I'll put the links, as many links as I can below. That will take a little bit of time, I think. And as I said earlier, there probably some will be Amazon affiliate links, which means if you click for the link, you don't pay any extra. I might earn an extra like 10, 20 pence out of it, but it helps the channel a little bit. Or does it? I've only earned £2 in the last couple of years, but out of it. But if you do click the links, it does help a little bit, I suppose. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and any questions, ask away. It's not a problem. I'll see you next time. Ta-da.